Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to the Porch 321. Only today, we're not in the porch, we're in Sylvia's kitchen.
Yeah.
So she has a neighbor that's dying for some sweet tea. So
Real southern
sweet tea. So I'm going to show you how a southern girl like myself makes my sweet tea. It's not normally the way that you probably would do it, but we're going to show you the southern way.
All
okay?
right. And no powdered mix, right?
No, absolutely not.
Not in her kitchen.
Absolutely not.
So she's here, but we're doing it according to the way she would do it in her kitchen. Now, what did you want to show us?
First thing I wanted to show you is that I have a 3-quart pan.
Wow.
3-quart pot.
Okay.
With boiling water.
All right.
Okay? And I use a 3-quart because, quite frankly, when I'm done, that's about how much will fit into my serving container. Okay? Now, there's 2 types of tea bags. You have tagless, and then you have the traditional Lipton style. Okay? I prefer to use the tagless, and you'll see why. And I also use at least 5 of these tea bags per my 3-quart pot. So this is why, because I'm going to dump them right in the bathtub.
Now, what brand do you have?
I don't have a particular brand that I use.
Okay.
This is black tea. But, you know, whatever kind you want. But obviously, if you're going to let them all swim, you're not going to be able to use a tag.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I mean, you can take it off and use the tag, but quite frankly, these break up quicker while they're boiling.
Yeah, and you've got the little staple, and you've got to wrestle around with all that.
You don't want all that mess.
Okay.
So I always buy the tagless. And like I said, I use 5 tea bags per 3-quart pot, which is filled.
Okay.
And I use a minimum of 1 cup of sugar. Okay. And the reason why I'm putting it in the bathtub now is because I want the sugar to break down to become like a simple syrup.
And this is a coarser sugar than, let's say, Domino, which I normally have. So this is good.
Yeah, this is good. Just regular white sugar. Okay. The kind you're not supposed to eat, this is the kind you want in your tea, okay? So we're going to put that in the pan, okay, and let it boil with our tea bags and our sugar together. This way it breaks that sugar down and creates that simple syrup, okay? Now for me, I like tea very strong, just like coffee, okay? So I just did a quick little stir. You don't want to go crazy with stirring this thing. You'll break your tea bags, okay? So you just want to give it a quick little stir, okay? And then once you do that and you bring it to a boil again, okay, you're going to shut off the heat and put a lid on it and let it sit for a minimum of 15 to 20 minutes. So while we're waiting for this to come to a boil, we're going to get ourselves a lid.
Yeah. Now tell me about, wait a minute, we had it at a boil, and now you've got it.
I got to reboil it because we put our little friends, the tea bags in there, and we put our sugar in there.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay.
All right.
So once we get it back up to a boil, we're going to shut the heat off, and then we're going to put the lid on it and let it steep. Okay? That's to give you the strength. Okay?
Very nice. And you, true Southern.
Yes.
It has to be sweet, right?
It has to be sweet.
Is there a
this
huge
is actually average sweet. To make the real Southern sweet tea that I grew up on is probably going to be 1.5 cups of sugar.
You can put 1.5 cups. I think Jimmy is real Southern, so he wouldn't mind 1.5 cups. I have no problem.
It has to be sweet.
Yeah.
The whole idea of it is that you're kind of drinking simple syrup with a tea flavor.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
All right. You know, it's not the best way to do it, but that's the way we do it.
And you do this how often?
I make a pot of tea every day.
Okay.
Because I go through almost a gallon of tea.
How long do you put it? Okay, so you're gonna take this. You're gonna cool it off.
Yeah.
When it's done boiling.
After it's done boiling, which is getting ready to do right now, I'm gonna shut it off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the lid on. Okay.
Yeah.
And then once I shut it off and I put the lid on, I'm gonna let it sit here for about 15 minutes or so. Okay. And I need to let it steep. Now, sometimes I make tea so frequently that I will constantly have a pot on the stove.
Okay.
So I constantly have tea going.
Yeah.
You know?
A true Southerner.
Yeah. I don't do instant tea. I don't do lemon tea. I don't do, no. It has to be your standard sweet tea.
All right.
Okay? So this is what I do, and it's going to sit here for a little while, and it's going to steep. And in the meantime, I thought we would talk a little bit about real estate since, well that's what we do.
We got a little time to kill, so you can put that back on so it boils, and we'll talk about, I wanted to pick your brain about REALvitalize, because you've used that program. We offer it through Coldwell Banker.
Yeah.
And I've got a customer coming up that I think it might be very suited to, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about it, because we've covered this on the porch before, and you do have the experience. And did you want to get that on?
It's off. It's
On.
fine. We're fine. No,
Oh,
we're
okay.
fine.
All right. So
It's doing this little steeping. It's sleeping at the moment.
it's sleeping. I love how you said the bathtub and all that. So yeah, like I say, this customer, I think it might be beneficial if they are willing to do it. So tell me a little bit about it, like if you were talking to your customer. You know.
I love the REALvitalize program because it's perfect for people who want to put their house on the market and may not have the cash to do some of the repairs or upgrades or things of that nature to the home in order to sell it. What REALvitalize does is it basically gives you the money in advance to do that.
Right.
It's based on the equity in your home.
Okay.
You know?
That's important, based on the equity in your home.
You got to have the equity because they're going to take the money at closing.
Right.
Okay? So, for example, after all is said and done, after the closing costs and everything else, after you're done selling your home, that net amount, REALvitalize gets their money back first, and then you'll get whatever's left over. Okay. So, for example, let's say that the home is worth $400,000 and they need roughly $20,000 in repairs because maybe they need a new roof.
New roof, yep.
All right. So we'll add that $20,000 in, and we'll say, okay, we need to get the money somewhere. How much equity do you have in your property? Well, again, it goes back to doing the particular comps, talking to REALvitalize. They also have a handle on, you know, the property values and things like that.
They have
value
finger
of the
on the
house.
pulse. Okay.
Okay. So, unfortunately, those of you who have bought houses at the high end of the market probably aren't going to be able to take advantage of this right now. But if you have the equity, let's say they have $50,000 in equity in their property. Okay, we already know that the price of what's they need is $20,000.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and list it for $420.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to take $20,000 and put the roof on.
Yep.
Now we're at $400. We know they've got $50. That leaves us $30, and that's going to take care of all the closing costs and the commission and all of that.
Right.
Okay. And once that's taken care of, what the net is, let's say it's $10,000. Okay. That's what they're going to make profit on their home. Okay. But they may not have been able to make that profit if they didn't have the roof.
You can't sell a house if it doesn't, you know, if people buying it can't get insurance, so it needs a roof. So, you know, we're in a catch-22 with a lot of these sales.
Yeah.
So tell me, people are going to ask, and I've heard some other companies have programs like this, but Coldwell Banker does not charge any kind of fees or anything like that, any interest. This is done, and they get their money back at closing, and they get the money back. But that the workers and their licensed workers put in.
Yeah, basically what happens is when you decide you want to sign up for the REALvitalize program. Yeah. Again, this is something that is, you know, strictly a Coldwell Banker program, REALvitalize. So once you decide you want to sign up for the REALvitalize program, you're going to contact REALvitalize. You're going to sign the form stating that you're going to be paying it back, blah, blah. And they're going to send out a list of contractors depending upon, you know, what you need. Mm-hmm. So they may send you a couple of roofers, and they'll come out and give you an estimate on what the cost is going to be to do that roof. When you decide to go with one of them, REALvitalize will make the schedule them to come out and you know, start commencement on the work. Okay, so once they come out and they start doing the work on the roof and so forth, you're in the REALvitalize program, and you would think, well, gee, this is a $20,000 loan, you know, and in essence it is a $20,000 loan, but they don't charge you a fee, they don't charge you interest, they don't charge you anything for this, because remember, the whole idea of this program is so that you can get your house sellable. you know, because let's face it,
And get the best price.
And get the
that
best
you
price,
can get,
because-
rather than negotiating a roof if the buyer's lender and insurance company will allow that.
yeah.
A lot of them
And a
won't.
lot of that is all dependent upon if you have a cash buyer. You know,
Exactly.
let's face it, in these times, there's very few cash buyers out there.
Right. Now that's dried up.
Yeah, that's pretty much dried up. So let's say you have to get a new roof on there so they can get a loan because they need to get the insurance, and they can't get the loan without the insurance. So,
Right.
you know, again, it's worth it for you to go ahead and
Okay.
put the new roof on, get your house sold for the best possible price, and know that you don't have to pay anything to get this money. You don't have to take it out of your savings. You don't have to take out a second loan or a mortgage or any of that stuff, or take it out of your bank. That the money is actually going to come from Revitalize, to get this taken care of, and now you can get your house sold.
Right. Now let's say you just needed cosmetic.
Right.
That's probably a lot less. You probably have that equity because it is based on the equity that you have in your home, how much they will actually allow to be spent.
That's true.
So let's say you needed new countertops. These are the very old kitchen, new countertops or whatever. You could possibly, that can add up tremendously.
Yes, it can. And you can use the Revitalize program for cosmetic work.
Okay.
So if you want to get a new floor put in, you want to rip out all that nasty carpet and put in some new wood plank flooring or tile flooring, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can put in new cabinets in a kitchen, remodel a bathroom. I mean, we've said before on previous videos that the only thing that sells a home, or the best thing that sells a home, are bathrooms and kitchens.
Yeah.
When people walk in, the first thing they
Fall
look
in
at
love
is your
with it.
floor, okay? And as soon as you have carpet in there, they cringe. Because carpet, let's face it, has all kinds of dirt in there and mites and,
It's
whatever.
not as highly regarded as it used
It's not
to be.
hypoallergenic no matter what they try to say. However, if you have tile, that's a lot more,
Available, yeah. I mean,
available.
it's just-
It's more feasible for them,
Right.
especially if they have little kids or pets. Okay,
Well, the pets
so they're
is a
looking
big
at the
thing.
floor. They're looking at the kitchen because that's
Yeah.
the main focal point of the house.
Right.
They're looking at the bathrooms. Those are the things that they want upgraded.
That's what the buyers want. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the insurance company and the mortgage, they're going to
They're-
go
they're-
for the roof and the AC and the plumbing and all that. So
Structural items.
the most important things are what your buyer's going to be able to actually negotiate and work out. So
Yeah, so structural items are very key for, putting a mortgage and getting insurance.
Yeah.
Those are two key things there. Of course, your inspector is going to uncover what of those items will need to be addressed.
yeah,
Okay.
you can't bury your head in the sand. It will come out. And I also advise to do a pre-listing inspection.
I agree, and nobody really does this.
That
but
way you're not blindsided.
Yeah.
And whoa.
Especially if you're looking for top dollar on your home.
Yeah.
You want to get an inspection done to save you time,
Yeah.
to save money down the road, so that you can use the Revitalize program, or quite frankly, just so that you have an idea what needs to be done and if something is a priority.
Because people, when faced with an inspection and I didn't know that, they tend to go for the anger first thing.
Yeah.
And that's not good when we're trying to sell your home. I mean,
Yeah.
you're the one trying to get a buyer and to sell it. And that's the whole deal. That's why we're here, to get you over that finish line.
Right, exactly.
So it's not the world's against you, it's the fact that we're all working together. And I think a pre-listing inspection
is key.
key, so that we all know some of the basics are A-okay, or
Right.
what is going to be found out by the buyer's inspection. So I thank you for sharing with me.
Oh, not a
Revitalize.
problem.
It's been a while since we talked about it on the porch, and now that we're in the kitchen,
I know.
and Linda couldn't be with us today, company, but we miss her very much, and we'll be talking next week about sellers and buyers markets. I know it's basic information, but things have changed
Yeah.
in the market, so
Yeah.
it's good to review.
They have. I'm watching the listings increase every day.
Yeah.
I'm on there every day looking for homes for either buyers or just for my own information, and just to keep in tune with what's going on in the market. And if you watch, you can see where there's price drops. where they're expired,
withdrawns.
Yeah, so things are changing. It's going to be a buyer's market eventually.
And you're also seeing open houses.
Open houses. I mean,
you
oh my
didn't
gosh.
see that for a long time.
I remember when I was thinking, oh, I really would like to do an open house, but nobody's doing open houses because they're not on the market long enough for that.
That's right, yeah.
You know, well, now they're doing open houses, so that's your indicators that things are changing.
Yeah.
You know, things are definitely changing.
The Titanic is making that turn.
Slowly making that turn,
Yeah.
and we're gonna miss that iceberg.
Yeah, exactly.
There is not going to be a big meltdown.
But there is always something.
Yeah.
It's always fluid. It's always moving and always changing.
Yeah.
So, all right, now, where do we stand? So let's say we've steeped your tea.
Okay, we need to make sure that the tea is steeped and that the tea is cool.
Okay, remind me again how long you leave it boiling with the tea bags.
I leave it boiling for about 5 minutes with the tea
not long.
bags.
Yeah.
Not long, because all you're trying to do is create that simple syrup.
Yeah.
Okay, so once that's done for about 5 minutes, I'm going to steep it for at least 15-20 minutes, if not longer.
Okay.
The longer you steep it, the stronger the tea.
I like strong tea.
And I like it strong, so a lot of times it'll be on there for a while.
Yeah.
Not under heat, just sitting on the stove, cooling down. So once the
That's
tea...
what you mean by you always have a tea.
I always have a pot sitting on the stove, always.
Right.
So let's say that now it's cooled down, okay, and you're ready to put it in your container.
Okay.
99% of the time, you're using a plastic container, okay?
Something
or
nice
a plastic
and easy.
pitcher,
Yep.
okay?
I like this one because it's got it measured out.
Right.
You're
This
drinking.
one's good for this. Yeah, I drink way too much, I know. But let's say that
you need fluid.
let's say that you're using your plastic container. You can't pour boiling water in a plastic container.
Right.
So you need to let it cool.
Okay.
Once it's cooled down, you can put ice cubes in it if you want. I don't
like to do that.
but you know, because it waters it down.
Right.
But after it's completely cooled and safe enough for you to put in your plastic container, you just pour the whole pot and the tea bags in your plastic container. I don't even take the tea bags out because I drink it so fast. So I pour everything into the container. And quite honestly, the reason why I leave the tea bags in there is because sometimes if it's not enough water to fill the particular container that I have in mind, I will add a little bit of warm water. Okay. And then I put it in the refrigerator and I leave the tea bags in there because it makes it stronger.
Okay.
You know, that's just me. But you do need to make sure that it is completely cooled and then poured in your container.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Well,
and that makes perfect tea.
Southern style, sweet tea. Well, that's it, I think, from us, from the porch and the kitchen. And we will see you next week. I'm sorry.
Yes, we will be back here next Tuesday to do another video for you on YouTube. As always, please go to YouTube and subscribe, okay? Like us on Facebook. And we from the porch, we are wishing you a very good Tuesday afternoon.
Have a great week, everybody.
Have a great day.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
joining us. Bye-bye.